welcome to the Marketing Coffee House. I'm sorry that I'm a little bit late. I was having some issues with the screen sharing on the Facebook Live. So hopefully you guys can see my screen with my SendPulse back office as promised, and let you guys get a little sneak peek into what I do in there, because I know you hear me talk a lot about email marketing, and I don't know, maybe, you don't really understand what all the different pieces are. So, hey, thank you guys for everybody that's joining live. And if you have any questions, feel free to put those in the comments. And otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and kind of go over a couple things, and I'm going to watch for your questions or comments as we go through. So this is not going to be an in-depth review. This is just going to be to kind of show you guys around a little bit, because I've had a couple people say they got confused in there. So, all right. So with that being said, hopefully you can see my screen, see my mouse. So this is my SendPulse back office, and when you first log in, this is what it looks like. The mailing list is kind of the starting point for everything. So I have multiple mailing lists, and basically these are how I want to group people together for different types of marketing. So as you can see, I have a list called Accountants in Marketing, Bob Sweat's online blog, Crossroad members. So these are all different lists that I have set up for different purposes. So you would set up your list for whatever your purpose is by hitting new mailing list. Then the next step would be to create a subscription form, because you need to have a way for people to join your list. Now you can enter them if you already have people in mind and you've discussed it with them and they said, sure, you can add me to that list. You can do them by hand, but the typical way would be to add people to your list via a subscription form, or you've heard me call it a lead capture form or something like that. So a typical one might be a form that you would put on the sidebar of your blog. So let's go to Bob Sweat's online sidebar. This is actually my new blog that I just started a few weeks ago. So let's see what that looks like. All right, so this is kind of what my form looks like. And basically, if I was starting a new form, it would have just asked me what template I wanted to use, and you would just pick whichever one, kind of fits as close to what you want it to look like as possible. And then you can add different fields for name, email. I wanted to add one for comments. And you just do that by hitting this input and dragging it over, and then that adds a new field. So I'm not going to do that right now. And there's different stuff you can do. You can add checkboxes, radio buttons, a drop-down, text, images, all kinds of stuff you can do on your forms. And then when you're done, you're going to save and get code. So then you get this code right here, which you're going to copy and place that on your blog. So then it would look something like this on my blog. Okay, so that form is right here. What I call the sidebar, I think that's what everybody calls it. So the sidebar of my blog, so that when people come, they see this and it says, learn more about marketing for accountants and introverts. And then I have the form. And you get that form on there by taking that code from here, right? And doing what they call a widget. This isn't, I'm just kind of trying to pull this together for you. So I have a custom widget right here, and this is where I paste that in. Again, this isn't intended to give you guys everything that you need to know, but I'm trying to help you to pull it all together. So we start with a list. we create a form, and that form leads to that list. So under form options, what's the name and what list does it lead to? Right there. Okay. So that's how I tell it that anybody that signs up for this form or on this form goes to that list. All right, so let's close that. All right, so we have the list, mailing list, right? We've talked about that. Oh, Tim, hold on. Sorry, I just saw that. Tim, Bob, where did you add the code on your blog? I added mine to customize code, header, MailChimp. Tim, I guess it really depends on what format you're using to do your blog, because on WordPress you do a sidebar widget, custom HTML, and just paste that into there. So I'm not sure, I'm not familiar with your customized code header, parentheses, MailChimp, to be honest, so I apologize. But we can talk about that later. Feel free to PM me. So, all right, so we have our list, and then we did a subscription form, and then the next thing we need is automation. So what automation does is whenever somebody fills out my form on my blog, for example, let's just focus on that. When they fill this out, they're going to get added to the list called Bob Sweat's online blog. And then I'm going to create an automation. So I'm not going to create new. I'm going to show you what this one looks like. And this is just really, really simple. So what this automation looks like is I have a couple emails in here. And you set up each one of these separately. So right after a user subscribes or is added to the list, they get my welcome email. And one day after that, they get a second email from me. One day after that, they get a third email, then 2 days, a fourth email, and then another 2 days, they get one last email. So the way that this works is someone goes to my blog, fills out my form, they get added to the Bob Sweat's online blog mailing list right here, and then once that happens, this automation that I created for Bob Sweat's online blog kicks in, and folks begin to get this email series that I have created. So again, I just wanted to give you guys an idea of how that all goes together. And there's other stuff that you can do in here. Let me see, Tim has another question. Okay, mine is a slide out that MailChimp did. It's different. Gotcha. So I just wanted to give you guys a bit of an idea of what this looks like back here, because I feel like some people are maybe a little timid about email marketing. If you wind up, I know a lot of people are busy during tax season. If you wind up joining the Crossroads program, you'll get detailed instructions step by step on how to set everything up. So I just wanted to give you guys an overview. I'm going to stop. Busted. Well, I guess I lost everybody who was watching. So I'm not sure who's going to pick up on this video now. We were looking at SendPulse, and the previous video, which you guys will see, was kind of going through that. And listen, hey Nicole, glad to see you. Oh, Michelle, back. Oh, thank you guys. As soon as I hit stop sharing, I lost everybody. So it's good to see you guys all back. Okay, so just in recap, so we were talking about email marketing. Don't be afraid. I went over my SendPulse back office a little bit so you guys could see the progression from a form going into a list and then beginning the email automation. So, and then the other thing that you can do, I'm not sharing my screen again because that's going to get it all messed up. So the other thing that you can do is you can send campaigns out as well. So if I have a list called Accountants in Marketing, and maybe whenever they join that list, they get those 5 emails. But also, if I have a new blog post or come up with a new idea that I want to share, you can send out to that list as well, as long as it's in line with the original reason that they signed up in the first place. So if somebody signed up on my form that said, I want to learn more about marketing, then I can send them emails about marketing, but not about how to bake a pie. So I see Nicole has a question. Nicole, can you put the form on multiple platforms and then feed it into your campaigns, Facebook, LinkedIn? So yes, Nicole, you can take one form and put it in multiple places. So sometimes what you might want to do, like when you create those forms, you can actually take that code like I showed you and put it on your blog. But that form in and of itself has a web address. So if you kind of make it look just a little bit prettier, you can actually send people directly to that form as well. So you might use that on your blog, but you might have, let's say you might do a Facebook post that says, hey, I'm Nicole and I have some really great stuff I want to show you. Click here to subscribe. And then they click on that and it will go to that form and they can fill that form out just the same as they would have on your website. So yeah, you can use one form in many places. Vicki Douglas. Hi, Vicki. Thanks for joining us. Nicole, hopefully that answered your question. If not, feel free to shoot me a message. I don't know if anybody else, Tim, I hope I helped you, because the platform I was showing you was WordPress. That's what I use. That's what we use in the Crossroads program. So I just try to stick to one thing. Not that I might not be able to help troubleshoot something on a different platform, but I like to try to stick with what I know and what I'm pretty good at. So, all right. Well, hey, thank you guys. If there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat, even after I sign off here. But again, I just want to give you guys a quick overview, let you see how things look in there. So maybe it's not so overwhelming whenever you try to do it, and maybe that just helps to clear it up a little bit. So, thank you guys for joining, and I will see you next Friday. So have a great weekend.